Gloria Moraga Movie Monday here. Yes, okay, it's Tuesday, but I'm going to be every Monday sharing my favorite videos with you, and I think it's going to be a cool feature that we can all pull together and watch movies as COVID-19 continues to disrupt our lives. And if you hear some children's footsteps and yelling in the background, it's because my grandkids and my daughter are here, and she's working from home, and the kids, of course, aren't in school. Oh, now they're running around outside. All right, Movie Monday, let's get to it. I'm going to start off with a couple of movies that I saw right before COVID-19 shut down movie theaters. And I'm going to start with Invisible Man. Loved Invisible Man. Loved it very much. Now, it's loosely based on an H.G. Wells novel that he wrote 1897. Now, that's the dog. He's barking because the kids are outside by the pool and they're doing something they're not supposed to do. They're running around. And of course, does Grandma get up and stop recording and go tell them to stop running by the pool? I should. But Thor, the dog, he's worried about them. So I'll let him take care of it with my daughter. All right, back to Invisible Man. Based on a novel written by H.G. Wells, 1897. Wow, and it still holds up today. The first film, was produced in 1933, and it starred Claude Rains, one of my favorite actors, and he was great. He spent most of the movie invisible, and then he showed up at the end, but critics at the time said that he was just a great actor and that this started his career on its way to great things. Invisible Man stars Elizabeth Moss. Are you familiar with Elizabeth Moss? Elizabeth Moss has been in all kinds of television series and movies, always playing kind of second, third, best friend kind of parts. And she really is the star of this movie, and she acts like a star and is a star, and she's great. Second film that I saw, and I think it was sadly the last film that I saw in the theaters, was Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island is based on I think 1970s television show, and I never watched it, but I was always late at school doing plays and such, and I would come home and my mom and dad would be watching it in the family room, and I would walk by and take a look, and if Ricardo Montalban was on screen, I would stop and linger, kind of slow down and watch Ricardo Montalban, because he is one good looking man. More noise in the background, but hey, this is COVID-19, people. Fantasy Island, they do a retake on the original series. It's horror. So the folks get to the Fantasy Island and, they're excited, but then all of their fantasies start going horribly wrong and become, like Saw or one of those kinds of movies. Not crazy about it. Sad that it was the last movie that I saw in the theater, but I would wait until it's free someplace. I wouldn't spend any money to watch Fantasy Island. It's my personal feelings. Another film that we recently rented on pay-per-view is Underwater. It stars Kristen Stewart. Now, I'm not a big fan of hers, but she's beautiful. And for those of you who like beautiful women, she spends most of the movie in her underwear. If not underwear, what looks like underwear, maybe pajamas. But she looks pretty good, actually. But I'm not crazy. She gives it a good try in this movie. It's not bad. It's not bad if you like sci-fi, fantasy, and it's underwater, so you can get that claustrophobic feeling. If you don't like that, you wouldn't like this. She, as I said, plays most of the movies semi-clothed, but the other item here to talk about the actress is that she does what Sigourney Weaver did in Aliens 3, shaves her head. For those of us who just don't think we look good without hair, she looks great. She really carries it off, and she gives it a good try. There are some scares, and, not bad, but don't spend too much money to rent it. An actress that I just love, who seems to get better and better with each passing day, Nicole Kidman. And I was kind of channel surfing around, and I found this movie that she's in called The Destroyer. She plays kind of a down and out drunk cop who's just really having a bad time with her life. She's handling a murder investigation. She's kind of mocked by all of her colleagues, and she is absolutely great in it. Highly recommend it. The Destroyer, starring Nicole Kidman. It's a whodunit kind of film noir type film, drama, cop mystery. And there are some graphic scenes, but kind of uncomfortable to watch at times, but the movie's great. Gotta talk about my man now. Chris Hemsworth is starring in Netflix film Extraction. And Netflix and Mr. Chris tweeted that it is the most watched film in Netflix history. Extraction, most watched film in Netflix history. Here's the dog. You know what the dog's barking at? And there's my daughter. He's barking at the mailman, or the FedEx guy. So that means we have a package. Maybe it's toilet paper. All right. So they may interrupt, they may not. I'll just continue. So Chris Hemsworth, everyone knows who knows me. I met him a couple of years back at Comic-Con. I was with my two nephews. I made an absolute fool out of myself, and he was fabulous. He's such a gentleman. He's such a man, and he just was so nice and so dear to my nephews and to myself, and I think he's just a great actor. He does comedy. Of course, nobody can beat him. He is an action thriller type guy, and yeah, love him. Extraction, Netflix, catch it. Want to also throw out, I want to recommend classic movies every week that I'm going to be doing this. And the classic movie I'm going to recommend this week, if you know me, you know I've recommended this movie before, Casablanca. It stars Claude Rains as a detective. He's a secondary character, but he also, I mentioned, was in Invisible Man. So try to catch Invisible Man. And then, of course, Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman. It's just wonderful. And Claude Rains plays this detective that kind of dogs the Humphrey Bogart character, Rick. And there's an iconic, great scene where they walk off at the end into the fog, and it's just fabulous. So those are my two classic recommendations. If you don't mind watching black and white, my girlfriend Paula always says, I can't watch that, it's gray. But I love old films, and so I hope you do too. Finally, I am kind of going through a time here. Well, you can hear all the noise and stuff going on in my house. I miss going to the movies. I miss getting in the car and driving to the theater and buying my ticket and sitting in the dark theater and the lights go down and you got your Diet Coke and with ice, and you got your popcorn if you're not dieting, which I usually am, but Atkins bar, man. And the lights go down and all the people in the theater are fans, and you're a fan, and just want to say I miss going to the movies. So that's my excuse for paying for stupid streaming services like Apple TV Plus. I just started it. I'm watching some series that are not bad, but every time I click on a movie that I want to watch, it says, oh yeah, you can watch this movie, pay for it for $4, $5, $10, whatever. It's like, no, that's not why I pay for a streaming service. I don't pay for a streaming service to pay then once I get in there for more movies. So this might not last very long, but I'm watching a couple series. I'll see those through, and I'll give you a rundown on those next week. In the meantime, let's watch a movie.